let's talk some NFL football.
Yes.
And the Rams coach Sean McVay, who won a Super Bowl, young. I mean, they hired him when he still had chocolate milk on his breath. He was the youngest NFL head coach. And all that. Thank you, Alex. Alex is back in the fold. You like that, Andy? Chocolate milk on his breath.
Do.
Okay, all right. So and then they did anything they could to get him to win. I mean, they just traded everybody. They mortgaged the future. They said F the picks, right? Now they're in cap hell. They're going to be screwed for the next number of years. They're stuck with the team. If guys get hurt, everybody's overpaid. Matthew Stafford's overpaid. They were hoping that he would retire so that they didn't have to pay him. Cooper Kupp got a big contract. He's hurt. Aaron Donald said he was thinking about retiring, but he didn't. He came back. Who knows? Before you know it, he might say, "Okay, I've had enough." But as you look at this team, Andy, last year they went 5-12. It was the worst record by a Super Bowl winning team the following year. No team that had won a Super Bowl had ever compiled such an awful record, but the Rams did. If you remember, got blown out by the Bills at home in Week 1. That's before we knew the Rams were bad, but it was awful. They gave up over 40 points in that game. And Sean McVay, after the Super Bowl, had a chance to go to Amazon at their TV Thursday night games, and they offered him, reportedly, I don't know if this is real money, Andy, $100 million.
It's amazing.
Offered him a deal like John Gruden got with the Raiders, except the Raiders don't have two nickels to rub together. I don't know where they got the money to pay Gruden because they're not owned by a corporation. They're a family-owned business. But anyway, he thought about it and decided to come back. And now this year, people aren't expecting too much from the Rams again this year. I think he made a colossal mistake. And I don't know what he was thinking. When you win a Super Bowl like that, Andy, and you know what was done behind the scenes in order to try to win one and what's coming, ahead of you, and you have an opportunity to set your life up. You did what you wanted to do, right? People can't be mad at you if you win them a Super Bowl or you win them a championship.
Correct.
Nobody hates Kawhi Leonard in Toronto. Do they, Andy? No. Why not? He got the job done for them.
Right.
Sean McVay, people would not be mad at him if he took $100 million to go have a cushy, easy life doing television rather than coaching and all that has to go in and the late nights and the watching of the film and all the other things that are there. And now the Rams, their future is not bright. It's actually bleak.
I agree.
I think he made a mistake. Where are you on Sean?
Well, let me back off for a second. Number one, we don't know if it's $100 million, number one. Number two.
It was a lot of money.
Okay, it was a lot of money. But let me ask you this. I'm blown away by the amount of money these TV guys, the TV executives are paying announcers.
They just gave Tom Brady $370. Fox gave Tom Brady $375 million for a 10-year deal. So that's why the McVay for $100 million isn't ridiculous because they offer Brady's going to make $37.5 million a year to do 17 football games.
It amazes me because A, no background, except you know the sport, you played the game. And B, I don't think, and maybe I'm way off base so you can help me, I don't think anybody turns on a sporting event on TV because of the announcers. Really. You look at the game.
100%.
If it's a decent game, I'm turning it on.
If it's a good game, you'll watch it. And the only thing you'll do is if you don't like an announcer, you might turn the sound down and go put on the radio.
Right.
But you don't listen. As great as John Madden was, if it was a bad game, guess what? I'm not watching or I'm turning the channel.
So I don't understand where these executives are doing this, why they do it.
I know why. They're fanboys of a lot of guys. Seriously.
Yeah, you're probably right.
What else could it be, Andy?
I don't know what it is because
how could you go
stupidity.
to your executive and say, here's $37 million for Tom Brady on a football game that he's working 2 hours, 3 hours on the broadcast, 17 weeks a year? I don't know how. Give me the math that says this is valuable, that this is.
But that's neither here nor there because the general manager of the Rams, Les Snead, basically everybody was saying this year's going to be a rebuilding year. He says no. That's not a rebuild. Well, you know what? It is. You got rid of Jalen Ramsey. You got rid of Leonard Floyd. You got rid of Allen Robinson II. You got rid of all these guys. You know what you got now? You got Stafford, Kupp, and Aaron Donald. And I'm telling you right here and now, Aaron Donald will not see the remainder of the season. He will be traded by the end of by the trading deadline. Really, because he's 32 years old. He was injured somewhat last year. Only had 5 sacks, and he's not the future. The future is youth. They got a lot of youth on defense, and he needs help. He can't get it done alone on defense, so he will be traded before the end of the season by the trading deadline.
So you agree with me, but Sean McVay knew this was coming.
Because he's a football junkie. You know, there's something in your DNA. I'll give you an example. Mac Brown. I love him to death.
Bill Cowher made the right decision. He left Pittsburgh. He's been on CBS for a gazillion years now.
No doubt. Right.
I mean,
but Mac Brown.
He won, especially. It would be one thing. I hear you. If he didn't win the Super Bowl, then just leave him without fulfilling the job. That's different, Andy.
You leave
on
top. I get it.
But walk out the door on top. You win a Super Bowl. You wash your hands. Hey, I was a football coach. Did you win? Yep, I won. Yeah. I got a championship. And then I became this television broadcaster and had a very long career. And I didn't have all those headaches. No, and I spent the offseason with my family. And I went home at night. And I only worked 17 weekends a year.
Right. I don't know if they got hate letters in the mail that, I'm not playing this guy or whatever it may be. I understand. I hear you. I do. But some guys have it in their DNA. For example, and I love Mac Brown, the coach of the University of North Carolina football. He left and he did some TV, right? He's back coaching. He's 72 years of age. I mean, does he need it? Does he need that aggravation? Practice every day looking at films at 72?
Some of those guys, though, they don't have an identity. And I don't know Mac Brown, so I'm not talking about him in particular, but a lot of these guys, Andy, can't let it go.
You're right.
They can't because they don't know what to do with themselves. They're only known as a coach. They don't want to go home and spend time with their family because they've been running away from their family their whole lives. So they're like, it's uncomfortable. Seriously.
Right. No, you're right. I mean, look, I think Bill Belichick's one of those guys. I mean, he'll never let it go.
Right. He'll never let it go. Doesn't want to go home. Some guys,
right.
I've seen guys play 22 years in the big leagues and then become a coach the next year. Who does that, Andy? Right? You're going to get back on the road after you've been on the road for 22 years.
You want to hang out with the fellas. You
don't want to go home.
You don't want to be with your kid on graduation day or his birthday or your wife for your anniversary. I mean, there's a price you pay when you do that, no doubt.
I just think McVay punked out because people maybe gave him a hard time that you're bolting. We did all of this to help you win a Super Bowl, and now you're going to leave us with the mess. Because the Rams have a mess. They used to stick their chest out talking about F the picks. You remember all that?
Yeah.
Where's all that bravado? That's gone, right?
And here's another situation with the Rams. This Matthew Stafford thing with his wife doing a podcast, he said that he can't, through her, he says that he can't relate with the younger players in the locker room because they're buried in their phones. What are you talking about?
Stafford's only 35. Like he's making it like
Bill
he's
Belichick
55.
is 70. Belichick is 70. He deals with these guys. Are you kidding me? What is it? Why would you say something like that? You look like a fool. You really do. Unreal.
I'm with you.